Alright, YouTube land, this is Mike of the Mike and Josh Show. I got two lovely ladies in here that like pit bulls. They have a Facebook page and everything they're going to tell you about. But I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and we're going to get on with the interview. This is just kind of an intro to their interview, so stay tuned and they'll be right with you.
Hi, my name's Lucy Jordan. I'm working with the Angels and Pits Advocacy Group, and we're spreading awareness and trying to bring out the people that love the pit bull breed to spread the awareness on pit bulls and the common misconceptions.
Hi, I'm Pamela Steverson, and again, we're coming on the show to let people know about the pit bulls and that not all of them are vicious and dangerous, that it's more to it than that. It's basically owners, so we will tell you more about that.
Alright, this webisode's coming to you probably in about a week or so stay tuned and we'll keep the ball rolling on the Mike and Josh. Sorry that Josh couldn't be with us today for the interview, but he's a hard-working man, so we'll see you when we see you. Take it easy.
All right, YouTube, this is Mike of the Mike and Josh Show. We have webisode number whatever. I don't know. I done lost count. I don't know. I think it's 15. But we're going to talk about pit bulls and safety and rescue and the fights and everything about pit bulls, just to kind of give awareness. We've had a law that has passed pretty swiftly at the last minute, and some people like it and some people don't, but we're here to talk about both sides. Most of the time in this show, you know, I have my own beliefs and stuff but people out there listening has different beliefs. I mean, I know y'all run into it, but you know, you got to look on both sides of the coin. It can't always be heads. I mean, it's just that's life. But I've let these two young ladies here watch a documentary, and I want to let you introduce yourself. You can go first.
My name's Lucy Jordan, and we're both working with the Angels and Pit Bull Advocacy Group.
What? So when did y'all decide to start the Pit Bull I can't say it either.
Advocacy. I stuttered right on through that. You know, they kind of slipped the ordinance in there on us. You know, one day it's blasted on the front page of the paper that we had a pit bull specific ordinance here in Fitzgerald, and that's when we sprung to action.
And what's your deal with the whole? I mean, you can give your name and everything and what you do.
I'm Pamela Steverson, and I am the founder of Angels and Pits Advocacy. Really, is to give awareness to the kids and adults. So that they can be more cautious around some dogs. Not all pit bulls are dangerous. It's just like when you meet a new person. You don't know how that person is going to react to you. That is the same way as any dog, not just pit bulls.
Yeah, because I got a Chihuahua, and she's ferocious.
Yeah. If you could put that attitude into a pit bull, we'd all be in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been bitten more by Chihuahuas than anything.
Them dogs think they're 10 feet tall and bulletproof. And then on the bigger side, I have a Great Dane that you can say boo, and that joker tucks his tail and runs.
That's about like my pit bull.
And there again, see, that's all in how you raise them. Because I used to raise pits, and we had one named Samantha, and that dog was the best dog that I have ever had. And she was a Staffordshire red-nosed pit. Good breed. You know, I'm not familiar with all the breeds. You know, after we got through breeding the Staffordshires, I heard stuff like the Jeep and the Cowboy and the other stuff, and then finding out that certain bulldogs and pits bred together makes one thing, and it's like that with every dog. But we're going to talk about not only the dog's behavior but the owner's behavior, and I'm going to ask y'all some questions. And but as far as it is getting started, is there anything else that y'all want to say about? How about introduce your Facebook?
Mine is Angel Girl 2479 on Facebook. You can also add us at angelsandpitsadvocacy.webs.com. You can find a lot of information there. I have just started it not too long ago, so therefore, I'm open-minded to anything that is that I might not know, and share it with all the group. We're eager to learn more things each day. So
we want to learn, and we want to teach. It's education. It's not discrimination.
One of the questions that I was wanting to ask y'all, and I pulled these off of Pinups for Pit Bulls. It's an organization, and I've not read everything. This was just an interview, and I'm gonna check more into the Pinups for Pit Bulls, because apparently it's like, what, pinups? I mean, hey, I'm a guy. Yeah, I like chicks and dogs.
No. You get the best of both worlds.
But why do you think the pit bull breed gets a bad rap?
Irresponsible owners.
That was short and sweet, folks.
I'm sorry, but that's the way I feel. A lot of people, they get them for protection, which is great, but they also need to learn from protection and to also get along with some people too. But then we got all the irresponsible ones that fight them and make them worse, and
make them
bad
aggressive.
owners, not bad dogs.
Yeah.
The breed's not bad. It's the people that get a hold of the breed, status symbol, whatever their reason is. They weren't originally bred to fight. Their genetic, they've been bred differently. They wanted them agile. They wanted them muscular for hunting. For
and that's what they were bred for, hunting,
exactly,
and protecting and stuff like that.
And they've been nanny dogs. Yeah. And in the 1900s, I mean, if you look back at the history of the pit bull, that was the beloved family dog before the golden retriever, before the World War I probably out there.
The Little Rascals, they had a pit bull.
Petey is a pit bull.
Yeah. And that was the dog with the black circle around the eye on the Little Rascals. Not a lot of the people our age know who the Little Rascals are, except for the movie. Way back in the 30s, 50s, 40s, 50s, there was a show called The Little Rascals, and they had Petey, the pit bull, and he just hung around the kids and played with the kids just like they played with each other.
You can make any dog mean. You can make any dog lovable.
Any dog can bite.
Mine, I mean, she is nothing but a baby. She was a bait dog when she was young. We saved her, and she's 7 years old now, and she does not have one aggressive bone in her body.
But that's because you rehabilitated her.
Right.
And that's what some of these pinups for pit bulls and the documentary that we watched, K9, I don't forgot the name, but there's different rescue centers out there for pit bulls that rehabilitate these dogs that's been tossed in the street. They don't fight like the owners want them to, so they just let them go. And all they know is they got to fight for everything they get. That's it. To eat, to live, to whatever. That's all they know. Yeah. And see, that's what a pit bull is bred to do. That what they're bred for is good and bad, because if you nurture them and socialize them and do like you're supposed to do, that loyalty, you don't have to train a pit bull to protect. Right. If you love that dog,
they're going to protect you anyway.
They're going to protect you. That's in their blood. You're their pack, you're their family. And if someone, I could hit my daddy playing, and that dog would growl at me like, "You better stop. I'm gonna get you." Yeah. And it's the same way. I don't know Jason Grubbs. Y'all know him.
Yeah.
His kid sleeps with this dog, and it's a muscular, just badass looking pit, and it's a big baby. But I guarantee you, if someone messed with his son, that dog's gonna do something.
Mine sleeps. I want him to sleep downstairs. My dogs. I have my pit bull and my golden retriever, but he finds a way to sneak upstairs and sleep with kids because that's where he wants to be. He's a trampoline. He's a horsey. He gets his ears pulled, his tail stepped on. I mean, bless his heart. He's got it rough with my three, but but he's game. Yeah. And he loves it. Our golden retriever is much more temperamental than our pit bull.
And that's there was a documentary I was watching before the one I showed y'all, and she said the worst and the scariest dog attack that she had rescuing dogs was with a golden retriever. It left stitches in her and left her with a scar. And she said, it was, and everybody thinks golden retrievers are just, and I'm not knocking golden retrievers, let me get that out first. They're wonderful dogs. They're bred for a whole nother thing. Every dog has their different breeds. You got like the pit bulls, the hunting. You got like the hound dogs for the sniffing out and hunting. I mean, everything's different. But the difference in the pit and every other dog is they're strong. They will not give up. These dogs will not give up. They will love you to the end, or they will fight for you to the end, according to which end of the coin you're flipping. People need to get out of their head, hey, these are just mean dogs from the start. They're not.
Well, I've said this on TV, and I'll tell it to you too. When you meet somebody, you have your own personality. You have your own attitude. When you're born, okay, so does dogs. The way you're raised up determines your personality and your attitude when you're grown. So does a dog.
And it's been scientifically proven that golden retrievers, the same way the media puts out the hype about pit bulls, that they're the bad dog, they're the biting dog, they put out, you know, the hype of the golden retrievers as the family dog. But scientifically, that golden retriever is more inclined to bite you than that pit bull.
Right. Because that's just the way they are.
It's the genetics, it's their brain chemistry, it's their...
Y'all doing all this advocacy thing. See, I said it this time.
All right.
What's y'all's goal in the coming years? And I know y'all are starting here locally, but I mean, are y'all wanting to spread this to? Because I mean, you know, it seems like a lot of times these laws are domino effects. It starts with Fitzgerald.
In Abbeville.
Let's see, it starts in Fitzgerald, Abbeville,
here.
Osceola. I mean, I don't know what the other laws are there, but what's y'all's goal in what y'all are doing now?
I mean, we want to educate people. We want the public safe. We're not against the safety measures. What we are against is the breed discrimination.
Yes.
It's, you know, it's out of hand, and any dog that you tie up to a tree for days at a time without social interaction, without love, these dogs, pit bulls especially, every dog needs love. But the pit bull is a love monster. He is a love monster, and they want the love, you know. And you tie any dog to a tree for weeks with minimal food, minimal water, and you're gonna get an aggressive dog, Chihuahua, golden retriever. I don't care what it is.
Every dog has teeth. Every dog can bite.
You're right.
But we're for the safety measures. We are absolutely for the safety measures, the anti-tethering laws. You know, don't tie them up. Anti-tethering, don't do it.
Yeah, there's other alternatives. You got, and a lot of people don't like this, but you got the shock collars. You got the instead of staking a stake to the ground and a short chain, the runner, and there's a right way to do the runner too. Because I've seen some runners that the dog gets all tangled up and end up choking the dog or killing the dog or whatever. Or the dog can't get to the water bowl, and it's hot down here in the south, and the dog just dies of pure heat exhaustion. I mean, I've seen it.
But our advocacy, it's already growing. We started out small. You know, we started out just trying to make some waves here in this town, and we're hoping to get the ordinance amended for dangerous dogs, for the safety of the public. We're still with that, but we want it for all dogs, not just for pit bulls.
Now, as far as the ordinance, are y'all pretty familiar with it? Because I didn't look at it. I hadn't got it with me. But what's some of the things that the ordinance says for pit bull owners?
Well,
$50,000 worth of insurance.
Cool.
Be registered every year. 6 foot tall fence.
and that's $250 a year to register.
Yes, per dog.
Per dog, per year,
dog.
every year, reoccurring.
A 6 foot tall fence to put them in with a secure top and bottom. You have to have your signs out: beware of dog, no trespassing. You got to have them on a muzzle and a leash. That's about it.
And where can you get the insurance around here? I mean,
I checked with mine. They don't even. They said, "Oh no."
So how are you supposed to find proof? It's both of y'all are pit bull owners. You know, you were talking about your dogs. But if the Humane Society or the dog catcher or whatever organization in this county does it, how do you have to go about getting it? I mean,
Well, you've got to call an outside agency. There's I've heard it costing upwards of $10,000 to $20,000 a year to insure the dog for $50,000 a year. And for those of us, that we pay cash for all of our medications, all of our children's medications, doctor's appointments, we can't afford insurance on our family. To put this financial strain on an economy that is already in the gutters, ditches, to say the least, there's no jobs here. There's no, and when you're not bringing us jobs, but you're bringing us extra bills, that's an issue.
All right, what do you say about this? Because this is, I'm playing both sides here because I want to get the most out of this interview for people that has any questions or anything that they can hear it here. But if you can't afford to do the insurance, why do you have that dog?
Because they love that dog. It really, Fitzgerald has just thought about something, and
it's a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah. They wasn't prepared for this.
Right.
They love that dog. If you had that dog ever since it was born, and they're a couple of years old now, just like my dog, 7 years old.
My dog.
I'm not getting rid of my dog. My dog is my baby.
Mm-hmm. He'll be 3 in May, and I've had him. I adopted him.
Yeah.
I've had him for about a year, and I wouldn't acquire a dog if I couldn't afford it after this point.
Right.
If I couldn't afford this insurance and this registration and such. But now I already have my dog, and no, I'm not going to get rid of him,
Because you love it.
You're going to have more people.
It's a kid to you.
You're going to have more people, like right now, with this ordinance going through. You're going to have more people moving. You're going to have more animals on the street.
You're going to create more abandoned dogs.
And you're going to have people that even in this town is going to start going somewhere else and buying their stuff.
And that's what we was talking about before we started the interview. Ben Hill County's Humane Society is small.
Mm-hmm. Very.
They are not equipped for all these people.
Not saying they can't take care of the animals, because I think they do a good job with what they have. But there's not enough funding from the county and the city. If they're going to start an ordinance like this, they need to beef up the Humane Society, in my view. But like you said, they just kind of threw this in. It was quick, and everybody's going to vote, because not everybody has pets. Not everybody has the mentality for pets, and then the ones that have the wrong mentality for pets, they're not going to say too much because they're fighting, and that's illegal anyway. The people that take care of their dogs, like you, they're few and far between.
But it's making it worse on the people that does for the people that don't.
Let's go after the bad owners. Don't go after the dog. Go after the poor dog mistreating owners.
Exactly.
Go after them. Don't go after the whole breed. Don't attack the people that take care of their dogs. I want to get the breeders out of there. I want to get, I'm backing up the dangerous dog issues. There are dogs that we need to pay attention to. There are dogs that we need to go after, owners that we need to go after, but leave the good ones alone.
Yeah, that's what I say. Your pit bull, what's her name?
Princess.
Princess.
I got Princess and
Princess.
When I seen her, she looked so pitiful, and I knew if we kept her.
And how old was she when you got her?
4 months.
And how did you get her?
I got her. We was living in a trailer park, and in this trailer park, here comes her and her sister. They both looked rough. I mean, hardly no hair on them, skinny. She had an eye, missing eye, and it was so badly infected, it infected her whole body. Well, we tied her and her sister up outside because we wasn't sure if it might have been somebody's stray dog. We held them to the next day. Okay, one of them got loose at the end of the night. We didn't tie them very tight. We made it where whoever, could get their dog off the porch if it was somebody's. We took it to the vet. It cost almost $500 worth of medicine.
Oh, yeah.
And now she is 7 years old, and she is nothing but a baby, a play
princess.
toy. A princess. Exactly.
Now
We made her a princess.
What kind of name is that for your vicious, awful pit
Oh,
bull?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Actually, I got some videos on YouTube also of her. And if you go to my Facebook, you can also find them there too.
What about, just tell me a little bit about your dog.
My dog, he was about 2 years old when I got him. He was a friend of mine couldn't take care of him anymore due to medical problems, and he was looking to find him a home, and there was a breeder that wanted him, and that's generally what he had been used for. He stayed in the backyard, but he was socialized well. He cared for him. He took care
And that's the
of
key right there. And with any dog too, but especially a pit bull, if you socialize the dog and it's around other dogs and around other people, that's what it's used to. It will be okay.
Yeah, he was a wonderful owner. I couldn't have wound up with such a great dog had he not raised the dog right. But when I brought him home, him and my golden retriever are our best friends. And he is the best friend to my kids. They love him, and he instantly became a family member. I mean, he effortlessly just blended right on into the family, and he reminds me, his little pointed ears, he's black, and I call him Batman sometimes, but he reminds me a lot of Scooby-Doo. Yeah, he comes galloping through the house. It's like I can hear him when I walk through the door. Raggy, you're home, and that's precisely his personality.
I got another one. His my husband named him. He called him Little Man, and he is right at 60 pounds now, and he looks so mean. But you get to him and get up close to him, and all he wants to do is lick you to death.
That's what I said about the pit bull I had, Samantha. She was actually 13 years old when she passed away, and she was a 60-pound lap dog. I mean, that was it. Now, the older she got, the more ornery she got. Now, she wouldn't bite kids. She wouldn't do it by no other dogs that got in her territory. Now, she was territorial. She would attack them. She wouldn't kill them. She'd just run them over. I called them roll them over. She'd roll them over, and then that would be it. I mean, that was her area. Now, if we brought a dog in, it was a different story. She knew that we was bringing in someone like another family member, and she didn't like it. She pouted, but she was okay with it.
That's what ours is doing right now. She's kind of pouty. We just got another one, and she's kind of pouty. She herself, when we got her, from the day we got her, every week she got a bath. Every week she got lotioned up. Every week she got her toenails painted. So it was my baby, and now we got a little one 6 weeks old.
You ain't got a house. You got a dog spa.
Yeah.
Well, she actually, you don't see too many that is eager to get a bath, but she loves baths. She'll get in the shower stall herself, and you turn the shower on. She don't like too many baths, but she loves showers. And when she comes out, I clip her toenails, I paint her toenails, I rub her with her lotion. She's got her own couch. Nobody sits in her couch. She's got her own little couch.
Well, at least your dog got a couch. My Great Dane, he's got his own bed, like twin-size bed.
Now, my husband, he leaves at 5 a.m. every morning. He's a logger. And she lays right there until he gets up. And then she hops on his side of the bed and gets up under the covers and snores like he does.
Yeah, she got a dog spa.
Yeah.
As far as the ordinance that the city has passed, what do you think are some alternatives other than just the straight up insurance and muzzle? And I mean, what do you think?
How about enforcing the ordinances that are already
Well, there
in
you
place?
go. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
How about that? You know, if they were out there enforcing the anti-tethering, I mean, we've already got ordinances in place to prevent this. If we're not enforcing the ones that we already have, why would you go create more?
Yeah.
And I don't see the muzzles is going to work too well, especially ones that have not ever had them on.
That might actually make them mean.
Yeah.
I mean, put a muzzle on me. No. I can almost guarantee it would make them mean. And
well, if you had somebody, if you, as a human being, If you were locked in a room or tied up all day and you couldn't talk, couldn't speak, couldn't eat, couldn't do nothing because you had a muzzle on you, you'd go nuts too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know.
The way they see it, dogs don't have rights. We're people, we have rights. Dogs don't have rights. But what about our rights as owners?
To have whatever dog we would like to have.
Well,
I mean, are they going to tell me what flag I can fly in my front yard next?
Well, they try.
What's next?
Well, I mean, I'm not changing the subject, but, you know, sexual offenders have to register every year. Why can't the dogs that are aggressive and everything like this and has bit somebody be registered instead of putting it on everybody?
Let us find out where them dogs are, and they might be in your neighborhood.
Well, that's the reason we're starting a dog awareness program in some of the schools. The older kids, we're going to start teaching them, you know, how to spot some dog fighting dogs, how to notice the scars on dogs. It's basically a dog safety. It's trying to teach them in an attack what to do and what to prevent an attack.
That's like one of the things that I've dealt with my girls. You know, you get a dog, and there again, let's just use pit bulls. You get a pit bull as a puppy. All right, you raise that pit as a puppy. My daughter's 9, my other daughter's 8. They're used to that dog. All right, that dog grew up with the kid. They've probably jumped on it, wrestled with it, shook its nose, played with it. Dogs pawed them. I mean, that's all they know. They know that pit bull is a nice dog. So they go somewhere else in the neighborhood and they think the same thing. So they go, I'm gonna go play with this dog, and that dog don't want to be messed with.
Right.
I teach my kids to always ask the owner, and if the owner's not around, don't go near the dog.
Right. And if the dog comes up to you, I run into this instance. Now this was a smaller pit, but my oldest daughter is scared. Probably everything. She's cautious. She's a real cautious youngin'. My youngest daughter, she just leaps before she looks. I had to tell. I said, "Listen, I don't know the dog. I don't care the dog's in my yard, but don't just go and stick your hand like we was talking. Don't go try to pet it on the head, because like you said, a lot of times they think that's an aggression to them, and they're going to protect themselves.
Right.
And don't present an open palm.
Yeah.
No, because that's like you're going to hit them.
Yeah.
Don't come at them with your hand.
The worst thing to ever do is never run from the dog.
Yeah.
As you're a child or an adult.
Yeah.
No adult or child needs to run from a dog. Even though it acts like it's going to attack you, you get down, you cover your head and your neck. You don't run.
Right.
And you don't look the dog in the eyes. But you watch him, but don't stare him in the eyes, because that to them is a challenge.
And that's because even though you're human and that's a dog, they still look at you as the mannerisms of a dog.
Right.
That's like I've also heard, don't smile and show your teeth at dogs.
Yes.
Because you growl and you showing teeth, and that's you showing them aggression. And if that's not a submissive dog, that dog's gonna bow up and get you. One of the things that I thought of us sitting here talking about, instead of just totally trying to get rid of the breed and pile all this insurance and all these stuff and ordinance, why not, before you decide to buy a pit, have to go through an education class or something?
Yes.
What,
I would agree to that.
Okay, I agree with maybe getting a license for a pit, just like a driver's license, but not no $250, $300 a year. It's only what, $20, $25 to get your license. I don't mind paying that, not one bit. And then maybe $10 per dog. That would cut out on the overbreeding at one area. Take a class, learn the mannerisms of the pit bulls, learn and it's not just pit bulls. The mannerism of a dog. It's a dog. It's a breed of dog, but it's a dog, and every dog is the same way. They communicate the same way. The only difference is a pit bull is that they won't quit. Yes, they can be aggressive.
They have a powerful bite. Their jaws do not lock.
No, they don't lock. They're just very strong.
Very strong. It goes by the per pounds. However much they weigh is how much pressure they can put down.
But then you got something like a pug, but a pit bull and a pug. They communicate the same way, right? Correct. They do. They're dogs. That's it. You don't need to, like, you know, if you're singling out one breed of dog, that's just like singling out black people, white people. It's the same thing. It's racial profiling with a dog.
Yes, and it's not fair to say, you know, that just because it's a pit bull, it's vicious, or it's going to bite you, or it's going to, you know, it's not the case.
Matter of fact, yesterday, getting a man's signature for our petition, he actually brought that up. He was a colored man, and he said that taking that breed is like singling a black person and a white person out, and that comes straight from him.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I said about this show. I don't care what I say, because I'm going to say what everybody else says. I'm not going to hold back.
That's right.
That's, you know.
I mean, it is, and you can't take one breed and ban them or put so much stress on the economy because of this breed and expect everything to go back to normal. It's not. There's other dogs out there that can bite and attack and be the same way as a pit bull can. Why do that?
Our shelter is going to be overrun with pit bulls, and because this is a city ordinance and not yet a county ordinance, there's people from the city driving these pit bulls out to the county and dropping them off. And then here's what you're going to have. You're going to have packs of dogs, and you're going to have, I mean, and
more attacks, people.
More attacks. And that's been researched, and it's been shown that these breed-specific legislation, these ordinances, actually increase in dog bites. Dog bites go up, not down, people.
And plus,
we're
if
not
they're
solving
hungry,
a problem here.
If they're hungry and you throw them out there, they're hungry, they're going to get into other animals. I mean, not saying nothing bad about them, but they're going to find a way to find food.
Look, I get mad when I'm hungry.
That's natural.
Don't let me get hungry.
Me too.
You'll have an angry
fat boy gotta eat.
And you know, it's the same thing with a dog. You're asking for a vicious dog when you throw them out without food.
As far as the people that may want to get a pit bull or anything, what are some of the things
do
that
research, please
do
research. The more you know
I
about them.
I got an old English bulldog, and I had to do research because I was scared. You know, they have breathing problems and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I found out that the difference in an English bulldog and an old English bulldog is they tried to keep from the old English from having the breathing problems and the breeding problems and stuff like that. Pit bulls, you have different types of pit bulls. You have different breeds of pit bulls, just like with any dog. Do the research. Right.
Spay and neuter the pets.
Yes.
Spay and neuter. Because the problem that you have with creating puppies, you've got puppies.
But you have
and then you give them away, you sell them, you get inbreds, you get problems. But you go a few months after getting rid of some puppies, and you're probably going to find more than half of them at the pound because people think they want a pit bull or a large-sized dog like a Labrador. You know, they chew, they pee, and then all of a sudden, oh, I don't want the dog no more. Yeah. You know, and the shelter's full of them. And always seek to adopt before you go and you get a puppy from a breeder. Always, there's so many animals. They had in Miami-Dade County last year, there was over 8,000 pit bulls exterminated. Pit bulls, quote unquote, they weren't actually pits, they were mistaken. That doesn't even include, 8,000 isn't even a figure that includes actual pit bulls that were put down. These were dogs that people said that might be a pit bull, so nobody wants to adopt them, nobody wants to take them in. Breed profiling, and there's thousands and thousands of dogs killed, and it's a sad situation. Educate yourself.
My thing is, look at the type of dog, do the research online. Go to the library if you got to. Do the research online. Determine what dog is right for you and your family.
And any breeder out there that breeds pit bulls or any dog, call them up. They do not mind asking questions. They don't mind answering the questions. You know, they will tell you exactly what you need to do to prepare your household for that dog. If you can't get a hold of a breeder, you get a hold of someone like these young ladies here. They can do if you're just too lazy and don't want to do the research, they'll do it. But
we can email it to you.
And if you don't want to do the research, you probably don't need a pit.
Not all pit bulls are perfect for certain families. I mean, they're not you just pick one out. Okay, well, we're going to have this one, and it might not be the right kind of pit bull that you might want. And, there's other breeds of dogs also that might suit your lifestyle more better other than pit bulls. Do the research on them before you decide to get a pit bull or any dog.
And if you're not prepared to take care of it, to take,
socialize it and spend time with it, then don't get no dog. And another thing, not changing the subject too, in it, what's going to happen to all these hunters that use as pit bulls for their hunting? Some of them that's their livelihood.
This is South Georgia. We like to hunt.
That's
we like
right.
and that gives the dogs a purpose. They enjoy it. They go, they run out. When that truck cranks up, they're ready to get on it and they're ready to go hunting.
That's right.
I've seen a lot of people that were visitors here in Fitzgerald, Georgia too. What's going to happen? I mean, this is going toward them too. They can't even visit with their pit bulls. Somebody from Florida come to Fitzgerald, Georgia. They can't bring their dog, their pit bull.
Well, yeah, true.
And
because it's going to go for them too. I mean,
didn't think of it that way.
You're going to have a lot of things, and just like Abbeville, they have the Wild Hog Festival. Some of the people is going to come here and get motel rooms. What's going to happen when we have, this ordinance not have pit bulls, or you got to do all this before you have pit bulls? What's going to become of that?
They're going to go to another town.
Exactly. And then they're going to get the money. And
it'll hurt the economy.
It's going to hurt the
further.
economy here in Fitzgerald. I mean, just point blank.
As far as the reports on these pit bull attacks and everything, do you think that some of these reports are, as far as the number, is true or false? Or do you think just...
I think something important for us to say is that we are not apathetic towards the dog bites, towards the victims, towards the, it's heartbreaking. Children, being attacked by dogs, and it's important to throw that out there before you get into talking about an issue like this. But, the media does hype it up. Don't buy into the hype of the media, because sure, plenty of other dogs bite people, but that don't have the sensationalism of a pit bull bite. So, of course, the media is going to throw it out there and blow it up further. I don't think that their numbers could possibly be accurate.
That's what I said before, and this was with the presidential race, but America's become what we call a media whore. We like a good story.
The sensationalism. Yeah. It's what they're looking for, and you get it with the pit bull eats child. That's sensationalism for you. I mean, a Pomeranian killed a baby last year.
Yeah.
And you didn't get that big story
because
out of
it
that.
had pit bull in it. I mean, that was just the whole thing. It said pit bull, so they went with it. Yeah. They threw it out there. But I'm not against and wanting to say anything about some of these attacks, but some of them could be prevented. Like
right.
The parents telling
Parental
their kids,
supervision.
Don't go into your neighbor's yard. Don't provoke dogs. Just little bitty things, and that's what we're going to start going to the schools and try to reinforce some of the things that the parents need to be telling their children.
Right.
There is no substitute for parental supervision.
No.
You can eradicate pit bulls all you want to, but if you've got people that aren't watching their kids, it's going to be another kind of dog that bites.
On the other side of the coin there, and I believe this, I firmly believe this, if you've got a dog that attacks a child, adult, it don't matter who it attacks, they should be put to sleep. But before you answer this, let the dog be evaluated first. Don't just go to extremes and say shoot the dog in the head. If it seems to be an aggressive dog and they look at it and say, okay, well, this kid was swinging a stick at this dog, what do you think the dog's going to do? He's going to protect himself. All right, if the dog was just running down the road and all of a sudden just lunges at this kid with no provocation whatever, okay, the dog is aggressive. It was probably raised in a way that it should be aggressive, and that's all it knows.
It's never right to blame the victims. It's not
No.
the victim's fault, but it is the owner's fault. It is the owner's fault.
I think any owner should take responsibility if their dog attacks anybody, provoked or not. I mean, but, you know, it's also the parents' part, too, to make sure that their kids ain't provoking dogs.
One of the other myths of the pit bull breed is it impossible to identify a pit? Or can you just look at a dog and know that it's even got pit in it?
Some you
Sometimes.
can. Some you can. Most of the giveaways are the heads. Their heads. You can more than likely look at their heads and the
Is that like the
ears.
shovel head?
and yeah,
Something about their ears. You
and
can
their
look at
ears,
'em and
or even the wrinkles. Some of them, some
the
of them have the
jaws.
wrinkles.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just according to what else they were bred with. I mean,
Because there's a lot of dogs. Like, I got an old English bulldog, and one of the breeds that they're bred with is pit bulls. And I got my dog from Ryan, Georgia, and I'm plugging them right now. Big Bone Kennels, and they are out of Ryan, Georgia. And you can, I'll have the link and everything up on my YouTube and Facebook and all that. But she raises dogs, and as far as I know, we was talking, she don't have no problems because her dogs are together, socialized. She does what she's supposed to. She's educated. That's the key. Educated. One of the breeds that's in the old English bulldog is a pit. How many people knew that? Because I didn't.
That's the key to everything is education. Don't,
taught what you know.
There's a lot of ignorance out there, and that is one of the biggest things that we are up against is the small-mindedness and the unwillingness to do the research or to believe their own research. Because you can give people all the education in the world, you can hand them a book, but if their mind is closed, then you can't do nothing with them.
All these people on the internet that has the same thing that each and every one of them does. I mean, it says the same thing. The myths are the same thing. I think they done enough research to know it's true. I mean, they're not going to put something else out there that isn't true. And I'm pretty sure me and Lucy is learning things each day that's new.
And it's growing. It's growing and reached a lot of people. We've probably made some enemies.
Yes, I know I have.
It's tough.
But y'all's ultimate goal is just education. Just making sure that you, and even with pit bulls, any dog, educate yourself before you get them. Like you said, look in your local shelters, because a lot of times they're overrun in the beginning anyway. Not just dogs, but cats. I mean, and there's even cats. Research your cats, research your dogs. Make sure that that's going to be right. If you got small children, you don't want to get a huge dog. I had a white English. My daughter was just born. I couldn't keep my white English because even though he was gentle, he weighed 200 pounds.
There's always pros and cons.
But I didn't take him to a shelter. I took him to a farm where he could run and be like he's supposed to. He's
because
an active dog.
unfortunately, once they make the shelter, being a pit bull, especially now,
you might as well just shoot him in the head because nobody's going to get him.
Yeah, nobody wants to take home a pit bull. Nobody wants to take home a pit bull.
I think also if you got some puppies off of your pit bull, I think you need, and you know their bloodline and whatsoever, to find them homes. Make sure they get a good home. My husband thought I was crazy when I done this, but I actually made people give me references because I wanted to make sure those dogs wasn't going to be used for dog fighting or whatsoever. I wanted to make sure they were going to be loved. And the last puppy that I gave away was to a little boy, and he had cancer. Mm-hmm. And that was the first time, she said, in 6 months that he had ever smiled. So, I mean, do some research before you give.
And as a breeder and an owner, do your due diligence to find out who you're giving or selling these dogs to, because you don't want to give your dog to someone who's going to fight it.
Don't pour fuel on the fire. Dog fighting is a devastating and cruel. They call it a sport. It's not a sport. It's jeez, I don't even know. I
It's
can't
just
even find a
cruel.
word for it. I'm at a loss for words when you try to describe dog fighting and what it is. It's a bloodbath.
It's ripping each other apart. We watched this documentary, and the fights was the dogs were face to face, and then you got blood everywhere, and you got dogs losing their limbs and crushed jaws, and as you said, lost eyeballs, and it's horrible. And then if the dog doesn't perform like they want to, they
It's
just kill
cruel. It's cruel
know.
the way they kill them too, and you don't look it up. It's not a pretty sight.
Don't pour fuel on the fire. Don't breed your dogs and breed and rebreed, and there's enough puppies out there. There's enough puppies, and there's enough without homes. They die, thousands upon thousands die in shelters every year.
Always do the safety precautions. If you have a pit bull and you have them in public, you know your dog. You know the temperament of that dog. If it's good temperament but it don't like strangers, okay, put a muzzle on it while you're out at the park walking. I don't see no problem with putting a muzzle on a dog if it's for that one occasion.
But with this ordinance, you can't even take them 50 foot of a school or a public park.
Right. Well,
So-
see. So how are you supposed to give your dog exercise?
Exactly.
At this point.
That's only in the city for right now.
But, if they get away with it in the city, they're going to go for the county next. Abbeville is considering it, Mike said. And, if they get away with this next, they're going to go after a different breed of dogs. What's the next breed on the list, And what's the next? You can't let your civil rights just be ran all over. And that's what this is. This is sheer discrimination against pit bull owners.
Well, I think we should go after Chihuahuas.
Oh, let's not go to that
Vicious
subject.
little ankle biters.
Listen, my little Chihuahua, 2.2 pounds,
Pit bull attitude.
backs down on his hind legs, 6 foot Great Dane.
Let me tell you a sight that I seen not too long ago. My mother-in-law and father-in-law live right next door to us. They got 3 Chihuahuas. My red nose was on her leash, running across. We was running across the yard over there to see my father-in-law. Looked at the back of my baby's leg, my princess, my pit bull. And attached to her leg was a little Chihuahua going up and down with her leg. It was the funniest sight, and it just never, it didn't bother her. She knew he was there. But, I mean,
It's like a mosquito.
yeah, like a little flea on this dog. I mean, come on.
My pit bull will stand at the back door with his front paws against the back glass and cry if the kids are outside playing without him.
And the worst thing talking about this ordinance, people from the county cannot bring their pit bulls riding in the car with them inside the city limits.
Dang.
My dog loves to ride. I ride her on dirt roads. I ride her if I go to the store. Or just ride her around, period. And now I can't even do that.
The ordinance is absolutely unconstitutional. When you get to reading it and you get in there and you see, it steps all over our civil rights.
So do y'all think, yes, there should be rules,
There should be rules.
Yes.
Yes.
but not to that extreme?
If they enforce the ones that were already in place, we wouldn't have this issue.
Yeah.
They shouldn't just go after one breed if they're trying to stop attacks and dog bites and stuff. They should go after every breed.
They know the
If they were
difference
gonna do
between
that.
good owners and bad owners. They know, and they know who they need to be going after.
And that's what your organization wants to do is there's always a compromise to the situation. Like you said, go after the laws that's already put in place. Hey, if we need to have a license to have our pit bull, okay, well, don't charge us no $300. Make us take a class. That's fine. That's what you want to do. You want to educate owners out there to do it anyway. So, hey,
Absolutely.
that will be right up y'all's alley.
Exactly.
You know.
I mean, we
A
can
happy
do it.
medium, like you said, a compromise.
Yeah.
We could do a few people at a time if they wanted to get together and actually learn something about it.
And,
I'm
there's
willing
probably...
to volunteer my own time,
Yeah.
even more so than I already am. I would love to work with the Humane Society, the animal shelter, the animal control, let us be helping hands. Don't discriminate against us. We would rather help you than we had go against you.
All right, well, you're listening to the Mike and Josh Show. What are y'all's contacts information as far as Facebook and everything? Again, let's redo that so we can get it out there and they can look at your information and give your personal ones if you want to. If you got pictures of your dogs with your kids and all that, I mean,
I absolutely do, and I'm open to questions. I'm open to, like we said, the point is education. And if you seek information, we have it. In abundance, we have it. And my personal page you can find me under Lucy Palmer Jordan. Palmer is my maiden name, and then Jordan is my married name. I don't have a specific site, but we do the Angels and Pits Advocacy.
You can email it. Is exactly the way it sounds, Angels and Pits Advocacy at yahoo.com, or you can go to our website, which is www.angelsanpitsadvocacy.webs.com.
We are having problems with advocacy. Our southern tongues don't move that fast.
No, they don't.
But I appreciate y'all coming and giving us the info on the pits and letting us know how you feel and where you stand. And,
also, we can use any volunteers if any volunteers would want to help us too. So
okay, and they can get you on the Facebook.
Email
stuff.
us.
Yeah.
Email
we
us.
We have a petition if you're interested in signing the petition.
How many names y'all got now? Do you know?
Over
right at 650, maybe 700.
Yeah, so there's people out there that's with y'all.
And there's a lot that is against us because they're not understanding.
We catch an earful sometimes.
Now let me
I had
tell
an older fella the other day just let me have it, and I was like, oh, well, thank you for your time.
I went and talked to this group of people that was actually sitting in their house. I stopped in the road and went across there and talked to them, and they did not want to sign the petition. But after I was telling them why we was doing this, and it was about the breed Pacific, and to do it for all the pets and not just one breed, they ended up signing it. They agreed with me.
Because you educated them on what y'all were doing.
Exactly.
We want the safety. We want we agree with a lot of it.
But I just don't think it should be just pit.
Just slam the book down and say that's it. But you're listening to the Mike and Josh Show, and like I said, I appreciate these young ladies coming, and I'm sure you'll see them out and about and on Facebook. You'll catch them right here on YouTube at youtube.com/The Mike and Josh Show. You can also catch us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Mike and Josh Show. And I'll have all the links up and everything, and have links for the Pitbull
Advocacy.
And we'll get that going. Is there a website that they can sign a petition or anything, or just contact you? Or
we don't have the petition online, but I'm willing to come to you, meet you. I mean, we're out there hustling for signatures, and whatever we can do, if we need to come to you, we will come to you.
All right, well, that's it. You're listening to the Mike and Josh Show, and Josh couldn't be with us again. He's working his tail off, and he's got to get some money for his baby for Valentine's Day.
Romance.
That's right. She said it, not me. Get a ring. Anyway, this is the Mike and Josh Show, and we'll see you later. Love your pet. Love your dog. Get educated about it. We'll see you later. Take it easy.